famous Oriental Rabbanim of yester year. And here on Chaf Daled Sivan, the 24th of Sivan, is a Hilula of a great Moroccan-born Rabbi Massoud הכהן אלחדד זכר צדיק לברכה. He was born actually in English year 1820 and passed away in 1927, reportedly around 107 years at the time passing. He came from very great heritage. His father was Rabbi David Elchadad and his mother was Rabbanit Hannah. He was actually born, reported over, most likely in the southern country of Morocco, around the Teroudant area inside Morocco itself. And later on in his youth, he would actually move to the land of Israel and studied in Yeshiva in Jerusalem. Later on, he married his wife, Rebecca Massoud, and he actually began to start learning Kabbalah at a later stage, I believe, reportedly over his first wife passed away, and he remarried Rabbanit Clara, reported over, and he then began to study Kabbalah and started learning inside the famous Yeshivat Bet El, a place that we have spoken about before on many occasions, and very famous yeshiva also, and we dedicated a video within regards to it. I believe it was around the year 1903. He was around 83 years of age. Rabbi Sasson Bachir Moshe was known as Frisiado, who he passed away, and he actually was the Rosh Hashiva, I believe, of Yeshivat Bet El before, and he took his place. He was, I believe, he actually wrote some commentaries himself on the famous books of Rabbi Chaim Vital itself, and he took on the position as a head of the famous Yeshivat Bet El, a very, very, very prominent yeshiva over there, and he was as a Rosh Hashiva there, he would go on and spend 24 years over there as a Rosh Hashiva. He was working with other great Rabbanim, including Rabbi Nachman Vidal Angel, also, who was very great, who was, I believe, the manager of the yeshiva itself, respectively. And nickname Harav HaChasid was actually given to the great rabbi himself. And he was there for 24 years till the year 1927, when he sadly passed away, which is very interesting. He was a very, very great rabbi there, and much more can be said within regards to that. It's actually interesting. He, I believe, a 14-volume handwritten copy of the famous Siddur of the Rashash HaKadosh, Rabbi Shalom Shirabi, was actually compiled during his time while he was the Rosh Yeshiva, also, interestingly enough. And I think there was reprintings within regards to this famous Siddur. We've actually spoken about the famous Rashash HaKadosh before. We actually dedicated a video 2 years ago within regards to Rashash, Rabbi Shalom Shirabi, the great rabbi himself. This was, I believe, 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago, was actually the time of the great rabbi's Hilula. So 14 K'tbei Yads on the Siddur Rashash, which was, I think, took more than 10 years to actually be compiled together within, and I think there was reprints also at that point in time. Okay, what's actually interesting was that he actually went on many occasions as an emissary of the Yeshivat Bet El to various different countries. Remember, it wasn't so easy to travel in those days as it is nowadays. Reportedly, he went to visit Tunisia and North Africa. Also, I believe in the year 1891, he actually went. I'm not so sure if at that stage he was Rosh Hashiva at that stage or not. I don't think he was. He visited North Africa on a mission. Actually came to Tunisia also, which was, remember, Tunisia was a very, very prominent Torah community. He came again, I believe, in the year 1902. He was very, very well traveled. He apparently, when he was even over 80 years old, I'm not sure if it was possibly just before his tenure as the famous Rosh Hashiva there, he actually visited Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, where he met the famous Kabbalist Rabbi Yeshua Halevi, who was known as Yeshua, the very, very great rabbi. And he actually himself, the great Chacham, actually really, really honored Chacham Elchadad also Also, I believe he learned with him. He also it was actually interesting. He went to Jerba, I believe, in that year and met with the famous Rabbi Yisrael Zeytun, and we spoke about him also. And he also met with Rabbi Moshe Aldan, also, I believe, another great Tunisian rabbi. Hopefully, we will speak about also at one stage in time. He actually was from Jerba itself, respectively, and also of Jabs, that area. However, I think he fell ill while he was in his temporary stay inside Tunisia at that point in time. Many of the locals helped him and helped him to return to Israel. And many of the great Tunisian Jews relate over about many of the great miracles that were associated with the great Chacham also. And he was also, I believe he visited Libya, and they saw him as a great rabbi. He was a posek halacha and actually gave haskamot also to various publications, to various books also, which was interesting. And he lived around 107 years approximately. It's actually interesting. I believe many of his works, he printed many of his works, and I believe Rabbi Shalom Hodaya and his son Rabbi Ovadia Hodaya, really great rabbis we've spoken about, I think had the books republished in Jerusalem, I believe even in at the various times, and I believe his great-grandson, Rabbi Abishai Bar Osher, in the 1990s actually had his book published also, which is very interesting. He was you can see he was very well traveled also, and these were really great rabbis we're talking about over here, Rabbi Ovadia Hodaya and Rabbi Shalom Hodaya respectively. And I believe actually Rabbi Shalom Hodaya was his Talmid, which is very interesting enough. You see, the rabbi was such a great rabbi and he had such a great Talmid also. There was also, I believe, the Shai Agnon book also actually mentions some of his teachings also, which is very interesting enough. There was also a book, the Lefanim Min HaChoma also, which was mentions actually Chacham Massoud Cohen's teachings, which is very interesting. Also, I think there's a quote over here I'm looking at as we speak at the moment, but maybe I'll add it in the description of the video. And he passed away at around the age of 107 years old. It was on the Erev Shabbat of Chavdal Sivan in the year Taf Reish Pei Zayin. That naturally was in the year 1927. So we're talking about 97 years ago from time of recording. Now we are in the year 2024. And his funeral was attended by many people. And it was actually in Har HaZeitim also. And some more history reported over within regards to this. I believe during the years of the Jordanian rule, many graves were, thousands reportedly of graves were vandalized throughout the cemetery. And I believe also Rabbi Massoud's one also was vandalized. And his gravesite was relocated, I believe, in the year 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Around 7-8 years after his passing, I believe, or 8 years, his son, who was also a prominent rabbi, Rabbi Yosef Elchadad, had passed away also. But he was very great rabbi. Here on Chavdal Sivan, it is going to be his Hilula also, and much more can be said within regards to him. And just to quote back the Abishai Bar Osher, what he says, he quotes something, I'll quote it in Hebrew and try and translate it. Lemadadoto shel morenu rabbeinu chasida kadisha uvrisha harav chasid mahem Massoud הכהן אלחדד זכר צדיק קדוש לברכה ראש על החסידים בית אל ירושלים למלאת 75 שנה לסלוקותו. Very interesting. Remember, he was the Rosh Yeshiva also for 24 years of really great Yeshiva, of the famous Yeshivat and Bet El, respectively. So here on Chavdal Sivan, it's going to be the Hilula of the very great rabbi. Please don't forget to light candles in the great Chacham's memory over here and learn more. We've covered already about 250 rabbis inside this series. Just once again, he did author several books. I'll just mention it again because I wasn't so clear originally with regards to some of the teachers. He wrote the Sefarim, the Ben Mechabed Av. This was one of the books, which was a Perush on the Shas. There was a Koach Maasev Hagid Imo, which was based on Drushim, and Simchat Kohen, Chelek Aleph, which was a shoot on in the Kabbalah, and the Simchat Kohen, which is a Chelek Bet on Drushim also, just to be a bit more clear within regards to that, because I wasn't so clear on the exact books that the great Chacham had actually written, and many, many great things. Please, wishing you a great day. Take care, and don't forget to watch over the previous videos.